This week on the Garden Tarts.
So Edge had some hiccup with his guitar, and Bono stood up there and told jokes, the worst stupid dad jokes you've ever heard, while Edge fixed his guitar.
Yeah.
Something about, doctor, will I ever play violin again? That doctor's like, have you ever played violin to begin with? No? Well, then no. Anyway, it was fun. He was very entertaining and stupid, but it was really, really great. Hi, Jenny.
Hey, Hill, how are you?
I'm good. I'm melting, but I'm good.
It's actually quite lovely here today. It's busy, but it's good today.
Today is June 15th. If you're listening, it is on or after June 24th, 2026. This is season 8, episode 23.
And you're listening to Kissing Lips and Breaking Hearts with the Garden Tarts. Thanks for
Welcome.
being here today. Yes. Please like, comment, subscribe, share this episode with your YouTube friends. Please and thank you.
I'm still, we've been doing this for a while, but I still get so overwhelmed by people that are just so nice and, make an effort to listen and, to tell us how they
Yeah.
feel and everything. It's just such a good experience and gives me something to do with creativity all the time.
Yes.
Which I look for that.
It's good stuff. So today we're kind of buttoning up, I think, our Songs of Innocence era.
Yes.
Are we going to talk just a little bit about our I&E, our tour experience from the Songs of Innocence and Experience tours? And then we can say goodbye until Songs of Experience next year.
Well, tomorrow. I'm playing that crap tomorrow. Like I'm starting.
Yeah. I mean, goodbye to the Tart Talks, goodbye to the album specific.
Yeah.
Until we hit it up in 2027.
Yeah. So we have a rule for ourselves that we don't start listening to the next year's album until we're done with this one. And you can't listen to the album unless this is done. So it's done today. And I'm starting to listen to Songs of Experience tomorrow because I can't wait. I couldn't wait for this one too, but that one is, oh my
even more
God.
so.
Yeah. Okay. So I went to 6 shows. You went to 3 shows, right?
Yes.
Okay. I'm just going to have a few quick things to say about the shows that I went to. So the first one is July 6th, 2015 in Toronto. I went with Garden Tart, Amanda, and Steve. And there was, we were GA, but we didn't queue. We were just like, well, stand in the back, which I didn't accept that until that tour. It's like, no, I'm not. I want to be closer. And that tour, especially that it was my first show, it was kind of awesome to have, to see the whole thing and not be at a rail. But so we stood on Adam's side against the red zone rail, which if I was in red zone, that would have pissed me off. But and of course, if you follow our live experiences, there was a giant standing in front of me because that's what happens. I always get the giant in front of me. Like it's not even
Right.
It's always. I got by, but it's not fun. Okay, so standing over to the side, we could see the E stage and Adam, but like nothing else with the screen, which was fine. So again, first show of the tour for us. And Bono sang Every Breaking Wave. That was insane. It was so good. Our friend said that he like pulled a Mariah Carey, like with the scales and everything. It was like, oh. And I've never heard him ever sound like that before. And it looked like he was enjoying himself. And that was nuts that I'm like, dude, sing like that all the time. No, I'm not really. Because sing whatever you want. I'm good with it. But that was nuts. I was not expecting that. And I recorded Every Breaking Wave all of the shows that I went to except that one.
Oh
And
my
he didn't
god.
he I mean, it was amazing, but he didn't do, like, the scales
Yeah.
except for Toronto, or at least the shows that I had been to. Okay, so, there was an entire tribute band around somewhere near the East Stage, I guess, and
Yeah.
they pulled him up on stage, and Larry and Edge and Bono stood on the outside and, like, were like this, like watching this. Edge stayed on stage
Those
like that.
pictures were so cute.
Yeah, so cute, and, yeah, Edge wouldn't give up his spot. And so I said, Bono finally got his wish to be at a U2 concert. He's
Ah!
been to them, but not at them. And this was his chance.
Yeah. You got to watch it.
Yeah. The next show was that I went to was the next day, Toronto. I queued with Garden Tart and Amanda, but this was the first time we'd ever queued with check-ins.
Oh,
And
okay.
we were very wary of that. I mean,
Mhm.
we got over it pretty quickly, but we were very wary, like, if we walked away, we couldn't get her, like, but
Right.
anyway, we had numbers and it worked fine, it was great.
Good.
And so, like, no matter how long you queue, at some point, you just lose your mind. I mean, you just talk about nonsense or just trying to keep a conversation going or something.
Yeah.
And so we're standing, we had pretty low numbers, and we're, like, sitting against on the sidewalk against the building, and I started talking about how I've seen more American cars in Toronto than I see in the US where I live in
Yeah.
any given day. Like, it was just almost all the cars were, US manufactured, and, anyway, I thought it was interesting, and I'm like, "See this car that was just sitting." It was horrible traffic, and I'm like, "This car, see, it's a Tahoe." And, like, people where I live, they don't ever want Tahoes, and, like, the vehicle was in traffic, and all of a sudden, the window rolls down, and it's freaking Bono, and he had been sitting there for, like, 10 minutes. Like, I'm not kidding about that. The traffic
Oh
was
my god, I
so
forgot about
awful.
that story.
Yeah, the traffic was so awful that, I mean, I had the time to go into great detail about, and probably insurance, because I worked in insurance, and, like,
Right.
this was a very long conversation for Amanda to try to zone out, but then the window rolled down, and it's like, this whole time I keep pointing at that car and everything was Bono in there, and everyone just, like, swarmed, and this was so Grandchild Amanda and I, we have had several nonverbal conversations. This was one of 'em.
Yeah.
We just looked at each other and like, "Nah, it's not worth it. Don't get up. Just sit there. You don't
Yeah.
want this experience." And so we did, and we watched people go crazy and shit.
Oh my
I
god.
couldn't believe he did that though. I mean, it was a great moment. It was hysterical, but I don't know. I've been to a lot of shows where his car goes by and he's never done anything like that
Right.
before.
That is hilarious.
Yeah, creepy. He just sat there. Okay, we got a good rail spot by the East Stage, and there was this adorable girl next to us who had a sign saying, "I want to play guitar," and there was some kind of mix up. Like, I don't know that Bono understood that she wanted to play guitar. He wanted to, like, dance with her, and she was not a comfortable dancer.
Yeah.
So I don't know what happened, but finally she got to play guitar on All I Want Is You.
Oh, yay.
Yeah, so it was really cool. What else? At some point, we had a well-rounded meal of McDonald's french fries and Timbits. I mean, you gotta do what you gotta do. We were
I mean, that's
starving.
like world peace right there.
Yeah, it is, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
We need that right now.
Right?
So, okay, so there were people that were handing out signs that said, "Shine like stars." I mean, they must have had 1,000 of those signs. They were just handing them out to everybody.
Yeah.
Every time Bono walked by, people are like, "Shine like stars." And I'm like, "He's not gonna do that." Like, I know, but we always ask for that, and we've always been asking that, and
Yeah.
he's never done it, so it's not gonna happen, and he freaking did it, and we went apeshit. So our friend and our friend's partner saw us freak out, and it was like one of those things, like, we were like, we had to, like, look at each other a couple times for it to register.
Is this really happening?
Yeah.
It's
It
like
was
all
so great. Like,
we want in life.
I know it.
All we want.
It doesn't cost any extra money. It
No.
doesn't take up more than 20 seconds or something like that. Just do it. So Edge had some hiccup with his guitar, and Bono stood up there and told jokes about the worst stupid dad jokes you've ever heard while Edge fixed his guitar. I mean, he one of them was like, "What is it called when a dyslexic walks into a bar?" It's like a bra.
A bra.
Yeah, but they just kept going on.
Yeah.
Something about, you know, "Doctor, will I ever play violin again?" That doctor's like, "Have you ever played violin to begin with?" "No?" "Well, then no." Anyway, it was fun. He was very entertaining and stupid, but it was really, really great. So later, we looked at the set list, and while Edge was fixing his guitar and while Bono was doing his stupid standout, was supposed to be a Crystal Ballroom. Damn it.
Snap.
Okay. So I went to a few days later. I mean, this was 3 days later. Went home and then went to Boston 3 days later. And this is really cool, so I'm gonna try not to drag it out, but I have to tell the story. So I had to work for part of the day, and when I got to Boston, I had to go directly to the show. So what am I gonna do with my luggage and stuff?
Right.
So I had this really great idea that a friend of ours was who lives driving distance. I sent her a box of my clothing and my makeup, and
So brilliant.
I have never ever done anything even remotely close to being that smart. The only thing I didn't do was I had contacts then, I
Yeah.
don't know, but I had contacts then, and I didn't bring glasses.
Oh,
So, like, I'm like, "You guys, if this hotel catches on fire, someone needs to, like, take me by the arm and get me out of here because I can't see anything."
right.
But that was I don't know, there's also something really liberating about going to an airport without luggage, just with a purse. I mean,
I
it
mean,
was just real
you're
yeah,
just constantly
amazing.
like, what am I leaving behind? We like
Yeah,
I just feel like it's like the first day of spring where you don't have to wear all your winter stuff, and I'm like,
right.
"What?
Yeah.
I feel naked."
So, that's the single smartest luggage hack that I've ever done in my life, and I'm a pretty savvy packer, so that's
You
saying a
are.
lot.
Yes.
Okay, so, yeah, we couldn't queue, and so we went in and we're like, "We'll just do what we gotta do," but then our friend from California had this idea, and I'm taking it to the grave because I don't think it would work anywhere else. I think it just worked in Boston like that.
Yeah.
But we ended up getting rail space, and we didn't get there until minutes before the show was starting,
Yeah.
which
And you
that was
didn't
great.
steal it from anyone else.
No, 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 we did not
Yeah.
steal it. It
Yeah,
was ours
take
to
that to your
have.
grave. Yeah.
Yeah, but I'm never gonna say how we did that because what if I need to do it again? So we met this friend who is now a friend, at the time was a complete stranger, and she was next to us at the rail, and she pulls out a bottle of Fireball that she had, like, in her shirt, and we're like, "Oh my god, you're my best friend forever," and we had a lot of that. Total stranger again. She's not now
Right.
because I've seen her in many other cities,
And
and
I've met her many times now too, yeah.
yeah, and I love her. She's one of those friends that it's just cool that, how you met her and
Yeah,
everything.
yeah.
Okay, Bad was on the set list, and also Bono did Shine Like Stars again. This one is not as long, so bear with me. So, July 11th, 2015, again in Boston. So, for this one, I did not have a ticket, and I've done it before, and everything just works out, but this one was cutting it really close, and, I, wanted to be cool and not be nervous, but I was so friggin' nervous. And we're walking down the street, and our friend got a text message or read a message or something saying that the box office dropped some tickets. And so, like, we ran to the box
Yeah.
office, and there's nobody I mean, there are people behind the desk or whatever, but there weren't people in there waiting for tickets. So I'm like, "Yeah, they're gone." And, I don't know, somebody said, "Well, just go ask." So I walked up there and I'm like, "Hi, do you have 1 GA?" And the lady's like, "Sure." And I'm like, "For you
Now?
too?" Yeah. I'm like, "For you too?" And she's like, "Yeah." And I'm like, "Tonight?" And she's like, "Yeah." I didn't have to pay the Ticketmaster fee or anything.
No.
So it saved me a lot of money, and she just handed me the ticket, and that was done.
Amazing.
Yeah. I mean, it always works out, but I hate to rely on just that, you
Right.
know? It
Right.
does always work out, but I don't wanna rely on. Okay, so we did the same covert operation the next night too, the same exact thing. A kid went up to play the guitar, and Bonnie let him keep the guitar. I hope I say this all the time, but I hope that he cleared that with Edge first because it wasn't Bono's guitar to give away. I'm sure it was planned, but it just at the time, it was just like, just
It's like,
edging it. I mean, he's standing on the stage, but
well, deal with that later.
yeah. Okay, so Bono mentioned that very show was the 30th anniversary of Live Aid, and they played Bad. So this might be part of my question for Bono over Whiskey and Cake. But so since Pop Mart, it seemed like Bono played to the audience as a whole. At least to us, it seemed like he played to the entire audience, and he didn't even look down. And one time I saw him look down.
Like for Elevation and Vertigo and
Yeah, he didn't play
yeah,
he only played for the crowd. It wasn't like he even saw except one exception, but it was like he didn't even see that, there were faces around the stage. I mean, am I wrong about that?
that was my experience.
Yeah, mine
Yeah.
too. And so, I don't know, I mean, the shows were still good, but I don't know, it fueled my chronic imposter syndrome. And it was getting the best of like, I was just like, "Well, that's it. Well, I'm gonna," and the music's great, but I liked interaction, but that's never gonna happen again. This tour, this show, he very deliberately talked and played to certain people. I might have been one of them, but maybe not. Yeah.
Well, if you
And
know, you know.
yeah, yeah, yeah. And, like, I don't though. I always am I mean, the few times that's happened, I'm always like this, like, "Who's behind me?" And at this area, there wasn't anyone behind. It was a weird area, and there
Right.
wasn't anyone behind me. There were people that ended up coming in behind me after this happened, like, to congratulate me or whatever. But, I mean, it was a very deliberate, like, kind, cheerful moment or whatever, and I'm like, "Bono's back." Maybe it's me. Maybe I'm back. I don't know. But that was kinda awesome. Okay, one last note. After the show, we stopped by McDonald's, and hilarity ensued, um, over a Happy Meal at, like, 1 in the morning or something. I don't know, it
Yeah.
wasn't that late, but, it I can't even describe it, but someone tried to order a Happy Meal, and the guy was like, "It's, midnight or whatever, we don't have Happy Meals." But the way he said it, and then the way that we laughed. I'm pretty sure that in my adult life, there may be 3 other times where I laughed that hard. It hurt. I mean,
Yeah.
it was painful. It was so awful. And, anyway, that's Boston. And then 11 days later, we went to Madison Square Garden.
I know, but then before that, I was
Yeah.
in Chicago,
Yep.
June 28, 2015, and this is I only had tickets for those MSG shows, and I know I mentioned this in another app recently. We travel in our camper in the summers, and we're gone for many, many weeks at a time, and U2 was on tour, and I was somehow able knowing I had those tickets, I was able to be like, "Just don't look where they are." I didn't wanna know where they are, I didn't know what they were playing. I wanted to be present with my family, not f like, I just couldn't. And we were in actually, Indiana Dunes State Park, which is now a national park, which is on the top of Indiana, and Chicago's right up here, about an hour and a half away. hadn't had reception for a little bit, and I ended up with reception, and I looked, and it was actually I remembered, it was AJ Rankin posted a picture of this setup at the United Center, and I was like, we have to go. I gotta take the kids and my husband." Like, I tried to call in every friggin' favor I've ever, because it was, like, the next night I could ever find just to somehow buy tickets legitimately that, like, wasn't on, like, the resale market. We ended up buying tickets off StubHub or something like that, and they weren't bad tickets. We were kind of maybe, like, 3/4 of the way up, but kind of, like, by the stage, so we could see the side of the stage well, the barricades well, and it was really, like, the perfect way to see a first show, to just see the whole thing. It's such a fucking spectacle, the
Yeah.
everything. It was amazing. It was a very expensive nap for my
For
youngest.
your yeah.
My and also we switched time zones just from where we were, so we we got back late, but then it was even an hour later.
Like,
Anyway, it was great. They played Gloria, which I think was the first time I'd ever heard that. They had, like, the 2nd or 3rd song was always an old song, and they played, Lucifer's Hands, and I just remember being like, "You just need to understand this is a big deal."
yeah,
And then my husband, bless his heart, because he was the one that had to then drive us home. It's like the last song, and he's like, "Let's scoot our way out." But it was 1, and they had not been playing always playing 1, and I know they played All the Time, but, like, that's my song. Like,
yeah,
that's like it's sacrilege. I like and I'm like, "You can go wait up there, but I'm not." And towards the end of the song, I kinda started creeping up,
yeah.
but so I could still hear it, but I'm like, "Sorry, babe, I can't."
That's why you're there.
Right, and I'm sorry, we're now gonna be stuck in traffic, and it's gonna be longer and whatever. But that was an unexpected great experience, and I thank my family so much for doing that with me. I'm sure they were having side conversations about how this was the worst idea ever. Anyway, but then July 22nd and 23rd, you and I were at MSG, my 2 planned shows. They were in New York for 8 nights, 8 shows. This was show 3 and 4 of that 8. And I was looking through the set list, and they did, like, I mean, there was the main set list, but they changed it up nicely each time, which was outside of the main songs. I don't know if
Yeah,
that makes sense. The first night, I we were at the E stage, kind of, like, behind the drums a bit, yeah, a little bit around, and we had heard rumors that there might be a guest and that it might be Bruce,
yeah,
and we're like, "I don't know." And then all of a sudden, Bono's like, "Is there a singer in the crowd or guitar player in the" He was obviously trying to remember what he was supposed to say in the moment,
yeah,
was a little
yeah.
bit lost, and then you see at the end of the E stage, there is someone holding up a sign that says, "Singer with a broken finger," and it was Jimmy Fallon.
It was, and
Yeah,
the root I
and
have a no, go ahead.
yeah, so it was great. He hopped up on stage and he did his Bono impersonation singing "Desire," and the Roots did "Angel of Harlem" with the band, and it was really fun.
It was great. So, I hate packing, like, it's the worst thing in the world that could happen. I do it well, I just hate doing it, I procrastinate. So, particularly that summer, I before I was leaving, I would distract myself from packing by watching Jimmy Fallon. And, I mean, I watched, like, weeks of Jimmy Fallon when I
Yeah,
needed to be packing and sleeping, but I don't do that. So, he held the sign up that said "Singer with a broken finger," and you could see the bandage on his hand, and
yeah.
I'm like, "I know someone who has a bandage on their hand like that. Who is it?" And I just kept thinking about it, and then I went like that, and I'm like, "Oh my god."
What?
But I don't think I could tell you. I think it was just like I was so excited, I
Yeah,
had no words. I was just like,
but I, like, vaguely remember you having this kind of, like, visceral reaction to
yeah,
something.
really, that was anyway, that was
Yeah.
great, and it was crazy because that's just how much Tonight Show I'd watched that week instead of packing.
Oh my gosh. But it was 2 notable things about that show. First of all, it was New York hot. We GA'd for both full GA for the most part. I'm sure there were definitely check-ins, but it was a long
Yeah.
time outside. Full sun, hotter than hot was hot. Hot as a hand dryer in your face, some might say. Um,
It's a handbag and a can of
and
mace.
yeah. Oh my god, it was miserable. I really actually thought I might die. We were staying with my sister who wasn't too far away, who, bless her heart, she would come and, like, bring us stuff. She took our chairs when it was time, and she says, "Even the fans need fans."
I love that. That's such a good line.
Just so good. I also distinctly remember the moment. So, I saw this show in Chicago from far away, but I distinctly remember Bono walking up on the stage and me being like, who's that? I, that was not the man I remember. And being like post accident and with the hair and just, I had a real weird moment with that. Anyway, it went away. Okay. On to the next night.
Well, wait a second.
Yeah.
One of the things that I noticed, and this is not, I'm not picking on Bono by any means, but he, like, his, all of his molars are like filled. Like, I mean, it's all of his
They
teeth, like
were. He got him
every,
fit before Sphere.
oh, I didn't know that. Well, he definitely didn't in New York. That's good to know. How did you know that?
'Cause he said so. He's like, "I hope people comment on my new dental work." It might have been the interview with Zane Lowe or something,
Yeah.
but he was like, basically, like, "My mouth is gonna be huge up there."
So when I look at like Joshua Tree pictures, like, early on, I swear he's like, "Look at my new teeth. Look at my new teeth."
Yeah.
It's
He was like,
cute.
"I hope people comment on my
New
new
teeth.
dental work."
Yeah,
I'll just
that's
find that
great.
interview. It's
Yeah,
funny. Oh my
that's
gosh.
really great.
Yeah. The next night, where did we stand the second night?
Same place. I think we're a little more around.
Maybe,
We
yeah.
weren't, yeah.
But same side. Next night, notable, they did Electrico, which was fun, fun, fun. Oh my gosh, I was looking at uh, YouTube tours, and I noticed that after Sunday Bloody Sunday, it said they did a snip of Blaze of Glory, and I'm like, "On Jovi?"
No, no,
No, that's it was The Alarm. Mike Peters from
no.
The Alarm was in the
Yep.
crowd. Jimmy Page from Led Zeppelin was in the crowd, so we got some Led Zeppelin stuff. The
They
intermission that night, they did The Wanderer, Johnny Cash instead of The Fly. Did that then continue? I don't
I
know,
don't know. Well,
'cause I didn't see another show.
I didn't see another show after that, no.
Yeah. I would love to go back and find, a video of this, but during Vertigo, he snipped in God Save the Queen,
Hmm,
which I don't have any memory of, but that's fine. They had Lucifer's Hand that night
yeah,
into The Sweetest Thing, which, I don't know, it's kind of,
it was real. That was cool.
yeah, it makes sense actually now that we've talked about Lucifer's Hand.
Yeah.
So, those were great shows. I love an MSG show. Yeah, that's all I got.
Well, so for the second show,
He's
our friend Kip from
he's
my
our
local
bartender,
is, well, he manages the place, but yes,
but he's our Garden Tart bartender.
he is the
He
garden tart.
literally did one recipe for us once, and then
No, he did a couple.
okay.
He did something for Joshua Tree, and then he did the fudge teeth
Fudge tea. Oh my god.
garden tart bartender, Kip, who gave the defense of No Line on the Horizon for
Right.
us. So you go back, you can listen to that. So he was there with his wife, Kim, and he just kept like walking around like all day, like walking around and then like doing laps around MSG and finding us to say, I went to this bar and got a drink. And you know, all I mean it was he was excited to be there. And
Right.
I mean, it was not their first time in New York or anything, so maybe, I mean, I've gone on trips where I just wanna take a nap, but, oh my gosh, he was just crazy and adorable that day.
Yeah, and didn't he get a picture of us? He got a picture of us on the big screen with the meerkat from the meerkat
No, he told
group
us
told us, and
we
then
were
we
there,
found
and
it.
then I watched the video and did a screen cap.
There we go, but yeah.
Yeah. And maybe, I'm gonna make a post with that because that was kind of a cool
That
like,
was
we're big, and then there are these little ants on the stage.
Yep,
Look at us.
yep,
Yeah, so, anyway, it was a really good tour, and it was very, very different than, um, anything I'd been to before.
yeah. Oh,
I
yeah,
mean, Bono's disposition and everything was, like, Pop Mart adjacent, but everything else was just, like, new, like and I remember think it was the second Toronto show, and I'm like, "This is the best U2 show I've ever seen."
yeah,
And it was just so perfect, and then every show that I've seen since then is at that level. Like,
yeah,
so, I mean, my question, I guess, to Bono over Whiskey and Cake is what changed? Like, what changed from, his stoic attitude for Elevation, Vertigo, and 360? What changed? Something drastically changed.
yeah,
So, I'm not really gonna ask him that question, though.
right.
Maybe I should, I don't know. But, I mean, it
Yep,
was just his whole you could just see his whole face and body and everything. He was like a different person. Anyway, okay, good up.
yeah, that was I&E,
Yep,
and, yeah, no side A and B today. We're just gonna sign off with that.
yep, mini eps.
Yep. I don't know that this one's actually mini.
Yeah, no, it's not, but that's my fault. I had a lot of stuff I needed
I
to say.
know, it's good stuff.
Okay. Okay.
Okay, well, we will see you next week.
Bye.
Bye.
We'll be back next week with more U2ish content.
In the meantime, keep chatting with us on social media at _Garden Tarts.
Sign up for our newsletter at thegardentarts.com and share with your YouTube friends.
You can support us on Patreon, buy me a coffee, and leave us a 5-star review on Apple Podcasts.
Kissing Lips and Breaking Hearts, a U2ish podcast with the Garden Tarts, is created, produced, and edited by us, the Garden Tarts.
Intro and outro music by December.
See you next week.